Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Zahn Academy. I'm Fran. I am Zahn's education manager, and with me today is Joe Paul. Joe is Henry Schein Financial Services manager of the Henry Schein Financial Services team, and he's here today to talk to us about the end-of-year planning for purchasing laboratory equipment. Thank you so much, Joe, for joining us today.
Thanks, Fran. I appreciate it. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for your time and hope you'll find this presentation informative. Of course, we'll have some Q&A at the end. Any questions that all come up, please let me know. Today, we're going to run through just some details about your benefits here. My name is Joe Paul. As Fran mentioned, I'm the manager here for Henry Schein Financial Services on the Zahn program. Been here 16 years and have a portfolio of lenders and products to assist with all of your finance needs. They're in your individual labs. Full disclosure here, Henry Schein Financial Services, Zahn, and Henry Schein Dental does not provide tax advice. Please refer to and check with your personal tax advisors or accountants for any particular tax needs and questions you may have for your direct finances. 7 essential things you should be considering for end of year that should be topics of conversation with your accountants as soon as possible. Definitely not something we should be waiting till December to start discussing. That's going to get all of your early professional advice in place from your accountants, allow you to access whatever equipment needs so that you can utilize your Section 179 deduction, leverage any inflation adjustments, obviously consider pass-through income, stocking up on dental supplies, and prioritizing your retirement and investment plans there. So Section 179 is where we offer the most benefit because even though you're financing your equipment, you are still eligible to take the full Section 179 deduction. That's going to cover any bit of equipment that you have for the lab, the tangible personal property used in the lab, business vehicles that you may use for the lab, computers, off-the-shelf software, furniture, office equipment, and then partial business use items as well. So your individual needs and purchases will be deducted based on your accountant there. Limit this year for 2024 is over $1.2 million that you have the ability to deduct under Section 179. So what that means is if you were purchasing equipment that's say $100,000, that $100,000 can be taken as a direct depreciation and deducted from your taxable income for the year. Historically, you would normally depreciate this equipment over a longer period of time. However, Section 179 allows you to accelerate that depreciation and write off the full dollar amount in year one. It does work for all new equipment that you'd be purchasing from Zahn. So I would definitely recommend getting with your Zahn rep sooner than later. At some point, the manufacturers and inventory will be too tied up in order to get the invoice and equipment delivered by end of year, because in order to take the depreciation of Section 179, the equipment must be placed into use and service before December 31st of 2024. So that's the biggest requirement there. Quick calculation on Section 179. I just ran some numbers here based on a $70,000 bundle. Maybe that was a mill, scanner, some high-tech equipment there. We're also estimating at a 35% tax bracket. This is showing how if you were to purchase $70,000 in equipment and technology and take delivery by end of year, that you'd be able to take that deduction from the taxable income, which would result in $24,500 in savings, as this is the amount you would have paid to Uncle Sam and the IRS if you did not make this equipment purchase. So that $70,000 piece of equipment technically just went down to $45,500. Benefits to customers for the equipment financing. We do 100% financing for all of your needs here, so you don't have to worry about any money down. Typically an application just done right over the phone for you, or a quick, easy application you can fill out will qualify you for up to $150,000, subject to credit approval. We have approval ratings over 90%. Sorry, I just had to think up there. We had approval ratings over 90% with each of our lender partners. We have multiple lenders within our portfolio, so we can customize whatever payment plans you should need. Quick and easy access to the funds, same day approvals. Approvals are typically 1 to 3 hours with acceptable credit scores. If there should be additional information needed, we can develop that as we go. And the best part is this debt does not get reported to your personal credit bureau. We would have to run your credit for approval purposes, but you don't have to worry about the business debt affecting your personal credit scores or long-term personal debt service. To the right here, you'll see some of the flexible payment options we have that are quite popular for end of year. These payment plans not only give you that 100% financing, but they allow for deferred payments, which means if you were to take option 1, the Route 66 structure, you're at 6 months with no payments, 6 months at $99, and then that would be followed up by a 4, 5, or 6-year term thereafter. So essentially for year 1, you're only paying $594 out of pocket, while this equipment is generating revenue for your lab. Deferred payments are also nice because it covers any period of time where you may have a learning curve or get the staff familiar with the new equipment before that first payment's coming due. And the best part is you're getting your tax benefits for this year, assuming we can still make delivery in time. So you get the equipment for 2024, you start generating revenue for 2024, get all your tax benefits for 2024, but have nothing out of pocket expense until next year. So if the Route 66 structure isn't the best for you, we also just have a straight no payments for 6 months, then followed by 5, 6, or 7 years. Based on your particular needs and the conversation with your Zon rep, we can customize a plan for those proposals so you can choose the option that best suits your needs there. Big differences between the typical bank offering and our lender partners. Our lender partners are all healthcare specific lenders, so they specialize in dental and lab financing, which means you get the benefit of a more competitive product that's more attractive to your demographic there. As I mentioned earlier, we do not report the credit to the credit bureaus, so you don't have to worry about this business debt dragging down personal credit scores and affecting personal debt service. Application only approvals up to that $150,000 point should we not meet the minimum credit score requirement, or if we should exceed that amount, we may need to get some financial statements and tax returns for review there as well. All deposits get waived when you're financing with Henry Schein, so you don't have to worry about any money out of pocket there. And of course, we have that deferred payment option, which local banks typically do not offer. So they would normally want some type of money down, plus you have your payments starting right away. So they're not giving you that flexibility. No liens against personal assets. We just file a lien on the equipment that we're financing here. So you don't have to worry about a lien being placed on the lab in its entirety or any personal assets there. As the owner of the lab, you will personally guarantee the loan. So should there be any issue of default, you are responsible personally, but you're not being tied up from day one like a local bank would. And then overall, same day approval, same day contracts, really just overall ease of use. We can have an approval within 30 minutes, electronic documentation in your email shortly thereafter. So you're not dealing with all that red tape and jumping through the hoops with the local banks. This is just a quick estimate on some rough ideas. So you have an idea of payment options based on $50,000, anywhere from 1 through 7 year terms. So you can put this into your mind as to what the monthly output would be for your individual cash flow needs. You'll see the first line just offers level payments, which means they're starting in 30 days. Line 2 is going to be that 6 months with no payment period. And then line 3 is that Route 66 structure, which is the 6 at 0, 6 at 99, and then followed by level payments. Nice part with most of our lenders, there's also no prepayment penalties after 12 payments are made. Now that's 12 full payments. So it would be in addition to any $0 or $99 payments. So you have a lot of flexibility to refinance or save that long-term interest as well. And then Section 179, I think I mentioned, but for this year is up to $1.2 million that you're able to take deductions under. So at this point, we'd like to really open it up to any questions, feedback, and anything that I can help with here.
Absolutely, Joe. We do have a couple of questions, but I'll just go over the 2 polls that I had sent over to you. So the first one was if they knew about Section 179. And basically 100% of the audience really didn't know what Section 179 was and that how that could help their lab. So I don't know if you want to touch on some of the points again, just to help them out a little bit more.
Yeah, so Section 179 is an IRS code that you're able to deduct income, take a deduction off of your total gross income from the lab so that you're essentially paying less to the IRS on your income level. So just easy point of reference, if the lab's doing $100,000 in revenue for the year and you purchase $25,000 in equipment, your taxable income after that deduction would be $75,000 versus the full $100,000. Again, you want to check with your accountant for your particular write-off needs. But historically, before Section 179 was put in place years back, you would depreciate part of that purchase over a longer period of time, typically 5 to 7 years. Section 179 allows you to write it off upfront. So you're getting a full amount of the deduction of the equipment purchase off of that taxable income there.
And as far as the poll number 2, how many of our customers have actually taken advantage of Henry Schein Financial Services? That was just 20%. So I thought that was interesting too.
Definitely. A lot of people aren't familiar that we have these options available. So as I mentioned earlier, the portfolio of lenders we have are already vetted out, and we've done all the due diligence on your behalf. So we're here to represent you on the financing side of it. The lenders, we have up to 10 lenders we can work with here. So really can work with variations of credit profiles and meet those particular needs that you have for whatever it should be. Henry Schein doesn't offer any in-house financing. It would ultimately go through one of our bank partners. However, Henry Schein Financial is handling it from start to finish.
So I have a few questions for you here from our attendees online. And the first one is, does all equipment qualify for Section 179?
So most equipment will qualify. From a high level, it's primarily going to be your equipment and technology, including computers, software, any type of scanner, mill, benches and equipment and furniture there. So it's pretty much any tangible asset that you can put into the lab there. But again, you would have to check with your local accountant based on the order form that you're putting through.
And they also want to know, is there a minimum amount that they would need to purchase to qualify?
No, great question. There is no minimums. The maximums is just over 1.2 million. So not very many people are hitting that maximum number, but there is no minimum to take for the deduction.
Okay, the next question is, what is the deadline?
So you must purchase, financings included. Like, it's okay that you're not buying it outright with cash. As long as you're financing it or paying cash, whatever your means are be, you would qualify for 179. The equipment must be received and put into use by December 31st in order to qualify for 179. If you were taking delivery the first week in January, that's going to be a deduction for 2025.
And do you get the Section 179 deduction automatically? If not, how do I get that deduction?
No, that is not an automated deduction at all. So you do need to elect to take that deduction there. That's why it's really important to consult with your accountant, because they should be asking you the questions of any assets being purchased for the year, but you'd be surprised how many people miss the ability to get that deduction through the lab.
Okay, great. We're still open for questions. So if anybody else has any other questions, just type them in to the bottom of your screen and we'll be able to see them and Joe can answer them live. But there is one more poll, and that is, would you like to speak to a Zahn representative to explore purchasing capital equipment before 2024's end to take advantage of this Section 179 tax credit? So if you wouldn't mind answering that. And I just want to let you know what's happening next on Zahn Academy. Tomorrow we have Dan Morano, and he's a CDT and the owner of Morano Dental Arts. And he is going to be speaking to you about Clash of the Cams and why can't we both win? And that's featuring Millbox and Hyperdent. And he's going to tell you why he basically uses both Millbox and Hyperdent and why it has served the purpose very well in his laboratory. And we also want to let you know that we are hitting the road again in November, and Zahn road shows are going to Houston, Texas. If you're in the area or you've always wanted to visit Houston, now's the time. We'll have a lot of fun at our road show where we talk everything about 3D printing, milling, and new innovation to dental laboratory technology. So you can go onto the Zahn website and click on the education portion of your of the screen, and that will take you to Eventbrite where you could register for both. And Joe, I want to thank you so much for joining us. This has been really informative, and I'm sure a lot of people learned a lot about what they need to do to take advantage of this tax credit and Henry Schein Financial Services. So please give us a call if you have any questions at all. If you think of anything later, type them in to zondental@henryschein.com and we'll get them over to Joe and the answers over to you. Hopefully, we'll see you tomorrow on Zon Academy, and I hope you all have a very great day. Thank you.